Do you think you might be an asshole? Well, I can help you with that. I'm a person who's been an asshole for most of my life. Recently, I've stopped being an asshole, and I figured why not help people if they want help to become less of an asshole. My name is Sara Young. I'm an artist, a writer, and a teacher, and a dabbler of all types of things. I've had this YouTube channel for many years. I've made a lot of different kinds of videos. If you want to go back and look at all the things I've done, you're welcome to. But as you might be able to tell through all of the videos I've made, I've been wrestling with one form or another of kind of being an asshole. So here I am today talking to you about what you can do about your tendency to be an asshole. Remember, as a person who still kind of identifies as an asshole, or as I like to say, an asshole in recovery, I'm not judging you. I just know that when I was deep in my asshole years, I really wanted help. But I was very ashamed to ask for it. It was very hard for me to admit that I was an asshole because a lot of the things I did were embarrassing. One of the things I would do that I see a lot of assholes doing, and I think it's a trap we all fall into at one time or another, is I blame other people for my situation. Now, this is not a ubiquitous generalization of everybody in the world. No. This is when you create your own problems and then you blame other people for them. It's not like people living in war-torn countries. That's not don't generalize. Don't think I'm generalizing in that way. I'm generalizing for assholes. So, a lot of what I see people do is blame other people for their problems. Blame other people for the problems they've created for themselves. Uh, the best example I can give you is in relationships. Um, in relationships, there are usually two people, sometimes three, sometimes four. Depends on what you're into. I'm not judging. But if the relationship is not going well, generally speaking, both of the people in that relationship are responsible for that. And so if you have been in a relationship and it ends either because you've ended it or your partner or their partner has ended it, you have to look at yourself and figure out what brought you to the place you're in. If you spend the aftermath of your relationship blaming the other person for everything that went wrong, you're just going to find that relationship again and do all the things you did again in the next relationship. And this is true of like friendships, partnerships, jobs. Believe me, I have had the same relationship over and over in my life. I've had the same job over and over in my life. And the one thing I can tell you is that when I didn't look at what I did to bring myself to the situation where I had to end things, I would never improve. I never got better. I never got anything different. So, one of the things we have to realize as assholes is that we're very responsible for where we are in our lives. We all get to make choices, and all of our choices have consequences. So, I'm going to just give you an example. If you're manipulating somebody to get something you want and you're manipulating them emotionally, you're an asshole. Because love should flow freely. And if it doesn't, manipulating it to come to you isn't really love, is it? It's a manipulation. Having a job, if you have to lie to get there, it's going to be tough having that job. Because I can tell you, I've worked with a lot of people who lied to get their jobs. And once they have their jobs, what they do, and these are usually assholes because they've lied to get their jobs, is that they'll treat everybody who has any kind of skill or ability badly because they're insecure about the fact that they can't do their jobs very well. It's happened, I've seen it so often. In my last job, I started, and immediately 4 or 5 people just started treating me badly. Now, I had just gotten there. So for me, I just decided I'll just ignore these people because who knows what's going on with them. They probably do it to everyone. And months later, I found out they did do it to everyone. There was a few people at my job who just treated anybody with any kind of ability, badly. And so it's one of those things where at that point in this job, I had come through my own transition of being an asshole at work. And I decided that I was just going to do my job so I wouldn't make it worse. Now, there have been so many times where I've made my job a living hell. My own behavior uh, enacted on people who didn't really have anything to do with why I was feeling badly. And then walking down a hallway at my job became almost untenable because I had behaved in a way that was painful and affected other people at my job. So, do you understand what I'm saying here? If you're an asshole, generally speaking, blaming other people for the way you behave isn't going to make you feel any better. You might think it will, but it doesn't. So, the next time you're in a situation where something is going horribly wrong and there's a lot of rage and anger or sadness, and you're in some way involved, focus on what you've done to get yourself there. Don't look for people to blame. Don't cast off any ideas of your own involvement. Take responsibility for your actions. See how that feels. You might be surprised how responsible you are for the mess you've gotten yourself into. Now, I've spoken briefly about relationships and briefly about jobs, but I want to hear from you. After all, I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to help my fellow asshole. As an asshole in recovery, I want to help people who have created big messes at work and then blamed other people, or maybe have gotten people fired because of their own inability to do their jobs. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What have you done in relationships and at work to blame other people for your shortcomings, or at least your perceived shortcomings? A lot of people who are assholes are filled with self doubt. It's not that self doubt is justified. A lot of us are assholes because we've been treated like assholes and then we just believed we were, right? I think you know what I mean. So, like, my parents were assholes, their parents were assholes, and they treated me kind of like I was an asshole. And so I just believed it. And I behaved like an asshole. Yes, I had a choice. I could have ignored them. I could have found myself and been more authentic early in my life, but that wasn't my path. My path was to be an asshole for a lot of years. Again, this is just the path I walked. And now that I am coming to the other side of that, I want to help people. I want to help other assholes. So remember, being an asshole doesn't make you a horrible person. It doesn't make you evil. It makes you a person who's feeling pain and doesn't want to feel it. And so instead of processing it, you're throwing it out at other people. That is what makes you an asshole. So, thanks for listening. If you know an asshole who could use this content, send it to them. If you like this content, subscribe. Again, share your asshole stories with me in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, we'll talk again about what it's like to be an asshole. See you then.